Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. I just got back from the dentist. Half my face is numb. No face cam. I don't need to give you guys anything more to laugh at me about. I'm probably going to sound a little weird too because I'm talking out of one side of my mouth, so deal with it. But we have my newly acquired 120 Max Awakened Bride SOUKA. Yeah, what a journey, what a struggle. So let's make the most out of her, right? Magic, wind, uses a hammer, AoE ult, lowers defense on the ult, cool, has the brand new skill that converts all the your next hand to greens, and then the additional 20% attack buff, which is technically 25 because she counts, so it starts at 25 because you're going to have her on the team. And then that stacks more up to 45% with Goddess of Destiny or World of Fantasy characters. So, we're not going to take her in Valor trait, but she does have the same magic sealing skill that Yuki and EX Rimuru does, so you can't use Rewind or Orb Changing. Her trait is pretty meh. Sends 6 greens and you get extra crit damage the next turn. We do have her maxed out now, though, so we get an extra 20% on the ult. And she gets extra crit damage with Shuna on the battlefield. So, I mean, very, very short list of things to do. We're just going to show off what she can do. So, let's jump right into beatdown battle with the new meta. Okay, so this is going to probably be a longer video-ish because we have a lot of things to go over with this new SOUKA. So, for the first part of this video, we're going to be using the rewind with the hero so we can show off, you know, the power and how you can kind of play around with SOUKA's incoming full hand of greens. So, this is the team: Triya, Milim, Shuna, SOUKA, Hero. So what's going to happen is that you can use the rewind and use the future orbs from SOUKA, and then when the rewind kicks in, it will bring in a full 6 orb send because it's the same turn, and then it will kick in the next turn as well, technically, because it's supposed to be the next turn, right? It doesn't specify anything other than the next hand, which if it's the same and it's the next turn, which it's supposed to be used like that, then it'll be that. But if it happens on the rewind, it will also happen. So let's go ahead and use Milim's Orb Change, and then we can get both of them out of here. So, full hand of greens. Awesome. That's what we want all the time with this team. We get enough for, you know, over 80 points. We got a Mirren Protector active, and so this will guarantee us essentially almost 3 full hands of orbs that will have follow-up, hopefully. Okay, so here, what we can do is we can... actually, what can we do? So we can do this, not that. Okay, so we're going to have to push another turn. So let's go ahead and... so that's 40... So we need 100 points, huh? So let's use Mirren here for funsies, just so we can get extra points on these greens. Or these oranges, doesn't really matter. We'll get maxed out, yeah. Will we get maxed out with these two? We do. Okay, so let's just do that. Okay, so 100 points. We're going to get binded in here, which is fine. It's just, you know, part of the test. Alright, so we've been binded. We have 100 points. So let's go ahead and rewind. We'll steal all the orbs to Shuna, that way we have a full 6 orb send. And then we'll make sure that the next hand is going to be full greens. So, we'll do this. Alright, and see, now that the next orb coming is kind of glowing like that, that's to show you that the next incoming hand is going to be, you know, special. So, we have a full orb send here, right? Typical. 6 Shunas, that's what you want on this team. 18, 21,000 damage right there, and then the follow-ups, 37, 8, so 9, 10, 10, 9, 19. Alright, so the rewind kicks in, but now because there are new orbs incoming, they are all greens. They're all greens, alright? And you can see that this orb is still glowing, right? This is still the same turn, but it is still the same hand, right? So it changes all new souls added to hand to Soul of Skills for 1 turn. This is still turn 0, technically, for them using that skill, right? this next incoming turn is technically the next turn. So we can do this, and then we're going to get alts for 2 of them, but it'll make sure that we get 4 greens as well. So then, yep, we get this. We get another 12 orbs on this turn. Pop, 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 pop. And then, there we go. We have 2 alts and then 4 greens. If we didn't get alts for whatever reason, which is highly unlikely, they would be a full hand of green. So that's, what, 12, 24, 36 orbs, essentially? 36, because we have the 6 here, we have the 6 follow-up per turn, per hand. So that's really something right there. It doesn't change your hand initially, though, and obviously it doesn't change out alts, which I kind of hoped it would, because it would just keep on making greens, and you can just keep on stacking EX alts and all that, but I think it'll be okay. So what we could do here now is we could actually get both of them out of here, because they have alts, right? We don't really need them. And then we have another orange come in, but we can definitely change that. Alright, I didn't use her skill, unfortunately, before she left, so we'll do this. Alright, cool. We'll use Mirren again. So that was 36 orbs, plus these 12, right? Plus these 12. Okay, 48 orbs in 2 turns, right? 3 turns? 3 turns? Yeah. That's some funny shit right there. Okay, and now we have triple ult. Alright, so we have a hero, which isn't really going to do much, but then we can also bring you in, and we'll be fine and dandy, except Millum doesn't have an ult. That's unfortunate. So, we will... we don't really need you, do we? No, we don't. Okay, so we'll do this. We'll do... what do we need? We only need 50 points, right? Yeah. Okay, so we'll get you out of here. Alright, there's that. So let's use the... I don't know why we used this again, but we did. We didn't need to. We could have held it, which is the nice thing. You don't need to use Mirren twice in a row. So let's do the light buff and crit damage, because we got that from Mirren. We're going to use this, which is 35% attack, because we have 1, 2, 3 characters on either Goddess of Destiny or World of Fantasy. So 20, so it's base 20, so 25, 30, 35% right there. And if these two were different, they could have added to the 45%. But I mean, 35% attack for 25 points is pretty good, right? Is pretty good. And then we can full steal with Shuna, and now we have, an EX ult, SOUKA's ult that'll lower defense, and then 3 fully buffed Shuna orbs, which I don't even think he's going to live this, but, let's find out. It's only Inferno 1. So, SOUKA, we'll watch it. Except we can't see her because of all these fucking orbs. Alright, Fixus Amulet. I think that's what that said. I couldn't read it, because the orbs. Give me a flower. 45,000. Okay, whatever. She's an AoE. Wasn't an EX ult. She's not meant to do, insane amounts of damage. She's supposed to help her do insane amounts of damage. So, in a perfect world, you would have, 3 turns of just straight-up Shuna orbs across the board. 329,000, alright, and then there's the super strong follow-ups, and then we'll get, if he lives, which he does, he's not gonna live this, though. Bye. Alright, that was real hard, turn 5. We could have done it much earlier, too. Yeah. SOUKA's skill is very interesting, but it can open up a lot of avenues for damage. So, now that we've shown off what it can do on the rewind, right? You can get, 2.5 turns of shenanigans. Let's come back with the normal team that I'm running and see what we can do with her attack buff, plus the hero's debuff and all that. Alright, so we swapped the team up. The Hero 2.0 and Shizu. Both of them are on World of Fantasy, which means that we are now maxing out SOUKA's 20% attack buff to 45%. So now let's see how much power we can get out of having a 45% attack buff the 50% orb damage, plus the 50% resistance down, plus the 25% light attack, plus the 50% crit damage, plus what I assume is going to be a full 12 orbs of Shuna. And then a guaranteed hand of greens coming in after that. And I think we're going to do some really stupid shit here. And it's going to be hilarious. So we'll orb change with Traya. And then also Shizu can give us a permanent 15% attack buff, which stacks alongside the 45% attack buff that SOUKA's going to give. So things could look a little nutty here. So you'll come in. We'll leave Shizu up here so we can use her buff at least twice, because it's, it's 15 cost. It's not very expensive. It's just that Shizu and the hero are physical units, so they're not getting the crits from Mirin, but I think we're okay, because they're not meant to do damage. They're here to support Shuna, and they're definitely going to do that. So 24.8k on that 200% orb. We have a 3 and 3, so that's pretty good right there. So let's use the steal. Let's use the guaranteed 6 orbs next turn, and then let's get a stack of the attack on everybody. Alright, awesome. So now this will guarantee that the next hand will be technically 5 orbs and an ult, because this is going to get us a Shuna ult. So let's go ahead and use Mirin, get the crits, get the stacks, not get the points is what I meant. But, I mean, this team, once you put it all together, is actually quite nutty. And you don't have to try and force yourself to get a protector every turn, because she's active for 2 turns, and she's really powerful. Up to 58,000 right there, instead of the... I don't even remember what it was, but there's the full hand of greens. There's the ult with Shuna. So now what we could do again, technically, is we could, guarantee another full hand. We could go ahead and use our crit buff and everything, and our light attack, now that it's active. And then this hand will do insane amounts of damage. We'll get another ult for her, because we will. And we'll send this. We'll get 100 points. We'll get another Mirin. 161k. Okay. Awesome. We didn't have 2 of the buffs, right? We don't have the resistances down from the hero. We didn't have SOUKA's own buff. 32, 20, 20, 43k. Another hand. More points. We're no longer binded, so what we can do now is we can straight up murder his sorry ass, because we still have the light buff, still have the crit damage buff. We can use this. We can use one more stack of Shizu, so that's an extra 30% attack. We'll get the hero in here. We'll get the resistance down. We'll get the 45% attack now that it's maxed out, because we have all characters that fit the category. And now Shuna, even without an EX ult, has 50% attack right here, because it's 30% from Shizu added onto the 20 that she gets from Mirin. We have the light attack 25, we have crit damage for 50, we have extra pierce power, which doesn't matter, and then a 45% temporary attack buff down here, plus the orb damage on the greens, 50%, plus the resistance down, plus guaranteed crits right here, because we have another Mirin, plus the follow-up. This man is dead. 100% dead. I want to see how much a normal orb does before her ult. I don't even think he'll live. Hold on. Normal orb. 89,000 damage. 292 on the ult. We did 90k on a normal orb. On turn 4. Turn 4. This team is nutty. This team is nutty and fun. Now, will it have value outside of this meta? Maybe. I think SOUKA does have a lot of use outside of the meta. Any green team can definitely benefit from her, which we're going to show off next. And anyone can benefit from her attack buff, right? So now that we've shown, I guess what quote-unquote current max power is, and the rewind hand, now let's go off the meta team. We'll focus on some other green teams and see if she can really, really help them out, or if she is kind of redundant. Let's see. Alright, so the next team is going to be off meta, but a green focused team still. Dark 2.0, the anniversary. So we have Isis for the orb change, right? And the green buff. Awesome. We have Milim for another orb change. And that's it. So there have been multiple times across, the last 6-7 months where I've used this team and I've been cucked because I've gotten a full hand of oranges or something that I just can't deal with. Because if you get more than 2 oranges on this team, you're kind of effed. So, we're going to use SOUKA instead of Dark Valentine for extra damage, or Raphael or something. We're going to try and eliminate the RNG instead of trying to go for maximum power. Because this team already has a lot of power, right? It's got the magic buff, it's got the ult buff, plus her little attack buff, which technically is only 15%, right? SOUKA, because she's here, is giving 25. So we will already be helping Milim do extra damage. We will help Shinsha do extra damage because she gives the attack buff universally. It's just that it gets stronger when you have specific units. So already, it's still going to be a better attack buff than what Milim has. And Shinsha doesn't even have one, right? She's giving the dark attack, but she's still a single target sub DPS, and anything we can do to help that is great. And then Rimuru, I mean, he's got the crit and everything in the yoink, but, you know, we got to give him a chance to, you know, shine out here, right? So, thankfully, this Tempered Edge is set up to a turn 1 orb change for the Isis, so we can kind of get the ball rolling. But let's see what happens with this team. I assume good things from it, but, you know, assuming leads to a lot of things, not all of which are good. So let's bring you up here for... we'll get you up here for SOUKA right now. And then we'll send this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 92 skill points plus the extra that we're going to get from Milim's trait. So almost 100. So hopefully this turn ends up being okay. Okay, we're good on this turn, but we have a blue incoming. We could, you know, maybe not get as lucky. So let's use the special convert. Let's use this. Oh, we won't have enough though. That's the thing, because we're gonna do this. So we gotta wait another turn. So generally, like turn 3 is where you're really gonna get the best use out of this, because you're still building up points. You know, a more low-cost team might not have this issue. Well, you know, there are circumstances, right? So let's do this so I don't get her ult. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, yeah, just shy. 129 maximum points. Cool. Now let's see what the next turn looks like. All right, 16,000. This is EX5, by the way. Okay, so a decent hand to be sure. So let's go ahead and use this and that. So we'll get, you know, a good hand right here. And then, now that we've used the orb, the future orb, it's glowing. So let's go ahead and let's get you out of here. All right. So then we'll use Veldora to reset the blue orb change for Isis. And then next turn we're gonna have, you know, 4 greens and 2 ults. And it works out pretty well. Let's go ahead and use that again too. Alright. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. Almost 3 ults. But this will guarantee that we have, you know, a full hand. And we have a decent amount of points. And we don't have EX characters, so we don't really need to worry about that. And we got all Milim orbs. Even better. And Veldora is already up to 55%, which is great. And we can pretty much use everything again. So, we have one more turn of that. Let's get, let's get you out of here for Rimuru. Alright. Ooh, okay. So, we can... What do I want to do here? We can do this. Do the green buff again. Why not? And this will not get us another Veldora. So, you know what? We're just going to send this, because we're going to get another Milim anyways. We're just going to send it. Alright, 20k. 20k by itself. He's got his extra defense and everything, so really not a fair comparison. We can't nuke him until turn 8, which I don't know if he's going to live to turn 8, to be perfectly honest with you. But, you know, we'll find out. Alright, there's the attack and the crit and everything, the seal, so that's not the best thing in the world for this Milim. But we can go ahead and do this. So let's get Rimuru out of here. We could have used the yoink, but I don't really care. So, let's do the reset. Yeah, let's reset everything. Alright. Give us the extra magic damage. So then we can orb change out of this. Plus guarantee the next hand is good. Because we're not going to get a Milim ult. We'll get an Isis and a SOUKA ult though. So I mean, that's cool. Right? That's cool. Alright, Milim 50k now with the magic buff. Alright, cheeky counter. Why not? And 5300. So, SOUKA is still getting the magic buff, right? She is still a magic character, and I don't think he's even gonna live to turn 8. We still have the Shinsha ult in the back as well, and we can do pretty much almost maximum power right here. Let's do the Milim ult buff, because she doesn't have any orbs anyway. And I think we'll make Isis kill, for funsies. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So Milim can come out, we'll get Rimuru. Oh no, we can't use Rimuru, because that's sealed. We also can't use the attack buff with SOUKA because she's attack sealed. Unfortunate. But what is not attack sealed is the dark buff. So there we go. And then, we'll use the attack buff anyways because, SOUKA, we'll have her ult first, lower the defense, get the magic buff going. So I guess I could have used Rimuru. Oh well. Actually, well, she wouldn't have gotten the dark damage. She would have gotten the crits, but not the crit damage. But I think he's dead. I think he's dead. 37.5. Oh, he's 100% dead. 100% dead. Alright. Isis walking out with all her personality. Alright. And how much does she do here? 91k. Alright, well, she's not a DPS, but whatever. Oh, we didn't use... Did we use Veldora? I think we used Veldora. Maybe we didn't use Veldora. I don't remember. I think we did. But, okay. So, I mean, it did work, right? Maybe if we didn't have Isis and there wasn't a massive green buff, we wouldn't have so many turns of having, like, ults kind of ruining the 6-orb sends. But you get the idea, right? On a stacking team, her, maybe Traya, can pretty much take care of almost anything as far as greens are concerned. Isis is great, right? She's a great free-to-play unit. She's 7 months old, still one of the best free-to-play units, if not the best. But we do have a lot of green-focused teams coming in and out of the metas, and every time we get more and more interesting units that can do things that Isis can't. I still think she's she's almost a required unit for most green teams, but at some point you're going to have, so many orb changes and not enough actual support units to buff your DPS, so... I don't know. I think this works okay. Would I have swapped out, like, Dark Valentine or Raphael? Maybe. Somewhere in this run, there was a turn which would have been all oranges, and we would have been real sad about it, or nerf blues or something. And this, we kind of took care of it. So, I mean, it worked. Let's move on to a different green team now. Alright, so most of the green-focused teams are self-reliant, right? Because, you have Space Ramrus and her team, right? But then, like, another green team with Frey, she's already doing the 3-3 converts. I don't think it's really necessary to bring SOUKA on that team. You're blue, you're orange, you're an old green, but you also orb change, so it's kind of different. Cabby only needs an orb changer or two, and you're off. So, but then, like, Benimaru, sure you could, but that team is terrible anyways. Guy, the Space 2.0 team, does the full-on orb changing too. So Shizu also does orb changing. So bringing a unit to guarantee yourself that is kind of unnecessary when you have a protector that can just get rid of most of your orb RNG anyways. So we're going to use Space 3.0 because it only has, technically one quote-unquote dedicated orb changer, which is Sufia. We're bringing Misery for the green buff that we're not having from Isis, so we're going to see if SOUKA can kind of replace the orb change with Isis and ensure that we can get a nice full hand of greens, for multiple turns. But this doesn't have a starting hand, so we'll be right back. Oh, or we could just get this turn one immediately after making the cut. So, yeah. Sure, we'll go with that. Green buff for 2 turns. Let's go ahead. Sure. We'll bring Shion, my newly 100 Shion. And then I think, do we get binded next turn or the turn after? Doesn't really matter. We can use the Pierce buff as well for funsies. And then we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and spread the damage out. That gets us an ult for Shion. Awesome. 10k a hit. Alright. She is not skill fused, by the way. I have not done that. Alright. So 1, 2... The bind missed everybody. Wow. Yeah, bind earrings. Okay, so what we can do here is we can use SOUKA to guarantee the next hand is greens. Alright, Shion has an ult, but I kind of want to save up for a big time nuke with Shinsha, so I think I'm going to swap her out for Sophia. And then what we could do is... Ooh, see, we don't have a blue orb changer, like a dedicated blue orb changer, which is the problem. So, what do I want to do here? I mean, we could use Sophia now, except it would leave the blue, and then we would have 5 blue or 5 greens and a blue. So, I think we just do this. So let's give ourselves some attack, give us 40 points. Don't get to use Romulus very often. Alright, let's charm here. And let's charm over here. And then we're just going to send the 2 SOUKA orbs to get them out of here. Although, that does leave this as well. Well, we can get out of that, actually. So, let's just do this. Alright, cool. Alright, so there's, more greens. Charm plus the revitalization, so there's an ult for SOUKA. Alright, there's some greens here. Go ahead and send it, because I don't really want to hold on to it. Okay. The greens are still buffed for one... No, this is the last turn it's going to be buffed. So we have the Pierce power and everything on Shion already, so that's good. We'll get the ult buff with Shinsha, and an ult for her. So hopefully you have an orb, I guess is the most important thing. Alright, cool. She does. Great. Alright, so you can come out. Do we have enough points for everything? 55. So that's 125 points. So yeah, I think we do. So let's use the attack buff. That'll give it to SOUKA, or not, but Shinsha and Sophia. So now they're going to have an extra 25%? No, 40%, right? 40%, because we have characters that are on Goddess of Destiny, being 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. The only one that's not is Misery. So, great. 40% extra damage right there. Maybe it would have been better to put it on you, but you already get an attack buff. So, not really necessary. Right? You do, huh? Hold on. Or is it just... No, it's just Pierce. You get the Charm Strike right here. Alright, so she doesn't get an actual attack buff. So we could have used it on her, but oh well. Alright, now let's use the big time ult buff. We'll put it on Valentine's so we can try and kill her so they can't heal anymore. Alright, and then we'll use Romulus again. And we will charm you as well. That way we get the extra Charm Strike. And then, this should do some decent damage. Some very decent damage. I think we do this, and then maybe pray that Shinsha kills. Or no, Shion and Sophia both kill. Alright, so Shion, 74,000. Alright, so she's not gonna die. Sophia, 30k. Alright, and then Shinsha will hit Valentine and hopefully kill her. Yeah, 79k right there. Alright, well, I mean, yeah. We haven't used her skill that much, but, I mean, we haven't really had to, because this run has just been really good. Alright, there's that, there's that. Alright, and it took the orange anyway for an ult, so... Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I haven't really needed to use it. But, I mean, it does work, technically, right? We did use it once. I thought Dino would die, actually. 27,000. And we don't have any more buffs, though, so that's probably why. Okay. Well, we can definitely use it next turn, right? Yeah, look at all these blues. Get these blues out of here. We'll have the points for it. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. So we'll use the skill again. This shouldn't get us any ults next turn. Except for Sophia, because she'll have the Romorous thing still going. Alright, and then the next hand should be 5 greens and an ult. Unless we kill here, which we don't. Alright, good. 6,000. Okay. Oh, okay, and there we go. 6 greens. And then the Vitalization will kick in, and then one of them will change to an ult. 2 of them will change to an ult. Because we got it on... Okay, so cool. Let's get the attack buff going again, just to use it for funsies. So yeah, there we go. I mean, yeah, it can work. We had that one turn where we could only send 2 orbs, but, you know, maybe bringing Isis would have been a little better for this team, just because instead of Misery, and you would have been able to cover that. But overall, I mean, yeah, she can fit. There are replacements, though. Like, you can definitely not summon her and still have the team run relatively fine. And then finish it off, 13.7 there. Alright. So, I think, yeah, we'll call it there for the first showcase of SOUKA. I don't really know where else to bring her. We'll take her into Valor Cup. We'll take the entire meta into Valor Cup because it's fun. But overall, SOUKA is a very interesting unit, and she's going to bring a lot of different strategies and personality to a lot of teams, but she's not a requirement. That's the thing, is that there are other units that give an attack buff. There are other orb changers. Now, they can't future-proof your next hand, but they can definitely, you know, if you play your cards right, or you just have a protector that can change to greens anyways, you don't really need SOUKA. So, I'm a simp, right? I got her 120. That's my own prerogative. For the average player who's asking, hey, I watched this showcase, she looks really good, do you think I should summon for her? If you don't have a lot of green teams, probably not, because she's only going to work on green teams. If you have a bunch of green protectors like Guy and Frey and Shizu that already do the orb changing to greens, probably don't need her. A lot of DPS units nowadays have their own attack buff, so using it from SOUKA is like, you can, for like Dark Milim, you could, and it'll be a little bit better, but I don't recommend trying to spend your crystals for it, because they already have it, right? So she's a very good unit, but she is replaceable, but she's really fun. So overall grade, after using her, I'd actually bump her up to like an 8.5 right now. As far as her on the meta is concerned, her away from the meta, I'd still think she's about a 7. Actually, on her meta, she's more like a 9.5, 10. But away from the meta, she's about a 7. Really fun, really replaceable. But let me know your thoughts down below. But that's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.